a couple, we'll be reviewing a couple of stocks here. So if we take a look at this entire chart, I'm on the daily. So what I really like doing is I like starting on the monthly chart and then going down lower. So let me just get rid of all of this stuff here just to keep it clean. So what I like doing with my analysis is I look at multiple highs and lows. I start on the higher time frame and then I go from there. So the first thing I see is I see that AMD is in a downtrend, right, where prices are heading down lower. But I'm also noticing they're leaving, relative equal highs, right? It's low resistance liquidity as we call it. Okay. So what I really like doing is I like taking a look at a low and then I like taking a look at a high. Okay. I always mark significant highs and lows. And the reason why I look at that is I'm trying to understand if a stock is in a premium or a discounted price. Okay. So a way to check that out is, you could just drop a fib on here from this low to this high. You're trying to, grab a fib and understand where price is resting. So we can see we're below the equilibrium price from this low to this high. That means we're at a discount. With ICT's teachings, we can see this is your discount and this is your premium right over here. Okay? If that makes sense. Anything above or below that equilibrium level. Now, obviously, you could grab a larger time frame fib and you could pop it from this low all the way here in 2022 and pop it all the way up here. We can see that overall we are still at a discount. Okay. What I also want to point out here is we've engineered a ton of buy side liquidity. So this is very interesting. So we have a low and a high. What do I do next? You may ask, NR, what do you do next? What I do is I grab my, rectangle here. And what I look for is I look for any PD rays that may stand out to me. So what can that be? So immediately I can already see there's a wick here. I see prices interacting with something. So I'm going to mark a fair value gap right over here. Okay. Very random, right? Where price is using this fair value gap. There was one here. And why do you guys think this one was disrespected? Who can tell me? Why do you guys think this was disrespected? And why did it trade to this fair value gap here specifically? Because we have another one down here, right? But why this one here? Why did it trade to this one? And it could potentially trade lower to this one too. But why has it traded here? Can anybody answer this? It's okay if not. So the biggest reason, I'm going to wait. I see somebody typing here. Breakaway gap, that is one. Breaker, yes. Yeah, you guys got it. You guys basically got it. Absolutely beautiful. And another reason why is because we have a discounted move, right? Which one is more into discount? This one or this one, right? Obviously, this one. So this is very important, right? And obviously the boys, or I don't want to, say boys and girls. Boys and girls here, you guys in here mentioned the breakaway gap, okay? So the biggest thing here, if we take a look at this fair value gap here, we really just pushed away from this area, right? And we also created another fair value gap. And David here said second one can be used as OTE. Exactly. You got it. You already, it seems like, you already aced that. That's beautiful. And this is that area that we're looking at as a discounted price. And then this one, both of these can be used as OTE, which stands for optimal trade entry. Okay. Vic here said it looks like it's a golden pocket fib level high to low also. Exactly. You can still use those Fibonacci levels and those highs and lows. It's still very, crucial and important to use and note. Okay. Balance price range. Balance price range, yes. We've essentially just traded through the fair value gaps there, right? And we're utilizing this one. Hey, Banks, how's it going, man? Legend himself, appreciate you. Hey, great to see you in here, brother. Great to see you. But we're just reviewing some stocks in here, Banks. We're just, looking at a couple things. But if we take a look at this entire range here for AMD, I am very bullish on AMD. For those who are quant members, I have a couple things that I've alerted in the channel. Okay, so AMD looks great. We have a lot of buy side liquidity that's been engineered. We've traded into this area. What I'm looking for in the next couple months, preferably in the next month, is I want to see a green candle engulfing a couple of these candles and specifically the previous one. This gives me an open, high, low, close. Okay. Confirmation. OHLC confirmation. Okay. That's what I'm looking for. So I want to show you guys another thing that's really interesting with AMD here. And it's some sauce that you potentially may have not seen. Okay. We're going to go down to the weekly. So I am already looking and seeing that, everything looks good on AMD. I do want to see a reaction here, and I want to see a continuation for higher prices. I do see relative equal highs up here. Okay, there's liquidity here, and there's liquidity resting here. So all price does, trade to liquidity, find more liquidity in a discount, then continue. Same thing when short. Look for liquidity, retracement into OTE, premium, continue, premium, continue. That's all price does. That's all the algorithm does, right? And it's a market maker model within all of these. All right. So what I'm looking for specifically, again, as I mentioned, I want to see some sort of reaction here. Can we wick down all the way to this area here? Yes. And that would be that OTE that we're looking at. If we take a look from this low to this high here, similarly with, fractal patterns, right? Take a look at this, right? We had a huge down move here, and if we just pop a fib on here, I'll use my old fibs right over here. We can take a look and see we really traded into a discount on this one. Now, when it comes to this here, let's just take a look from this low all the way to this high. We can see we're at a pretty good OTE price here. We had 7.9 here. There's also our A2 level, which should be somewhere around down here. Big OTE level. I mean, longer term on this stock looks very clean, right? It looks really good. Tech Trade said my last buy on AMD was 60. That's amazing. That's a very good buy. I'm assuming you bought somewhere around here, down here. And this is actually beautiful because, we have similar fractal patterns here. So this is what I'm looking for here on AMD, right? I could definitely see this push down, potentially wick down here. I would prefer it hold this area simply because we've already had a lot. The time it's taken, this is from March, guys. March all the way back down to here. So you could be super patient and it could pay out very well, right? This is what I'm keeping an eye on. This is what I'm looking for. I am at the weekly tech trade. Were you in? You got to show me what you were in at. Waiting for... let me take a look here and see. So I think... Okay, I see what you're looking at. Here, let me see. You're looking at this level over here. All these levels down here. And then, of course, you have this low right here. Let me get rid of this. Okay. There we go. So, all this liquidity down here, if I go to the monthly as well, we can see there's a lot to get through here, right? This area is really interesting to me, the candle here on the monthly. There's a volume balance down here. Am I expecting price to go all the way down here? No. We do see a huge retracement here. What I don't like here on the monthly is this smooth body down here. I really don't like this right down here. But as long as this area remains and holds, I am looking for price to at least get a continuation and at least a wick up into this area. Okay. But so far, we're using these PDRAs and we're looking at higher prices, right? Some sauce I want to show you guys. I'm glad we have the same idea, Tech Trade. I'm glad. I love to hear that. So if we take a look at the 18-hour here, by the way, some sauce here for everybody. I'm using the extended trading hours right over here. I'm not on regular, okay? If I go to the 4-hour, look at the difference. I have more information. Please do keep that in mind, okay? So if we take a look at the 18-hour, we're using the 18-hour just as we would use the daily. That's it. Okay, it gives us more information. For over here on the daily, we have a gap, for example. On the 18-hour, what do we have? We have a SIBI, right? It gives you more of an understanding of what you're looking at, right? You're looking at liquidity levels as well. If we stay on extended trading hours, I just want to show you guys something cool here. If anybody asks you where you got it from, remember you got it from me, okay? If you take a look here, we had a huge gap here. So in a sense, this is almost like a new day opening gap for stocks. People don't know about this. People don't really mark this, okay? So I'm going to mark this here. And I'm going to show you guys how beautiful this has worked in the past and in the present. Okay. If we take a look here on the hourly, obviously we have gotten a close below that. But if you take a look right over here, look at the bodies of those candles. And look how we go up and retest that. I don't see many people talking about this for stocks. Look how accurate that is. Okay. Then we have a move back down, taking this low out. Am I looking to see for this low to be taken out? Honestly, not really. I don't want to see this. I do think that this was a huge manipulation. And I'm honestly looking for this entire range to hold here. Okay. And on the 4 hour, if we take a look at that, we have a candle close below that. But we can see that this area here has been utilized a ton. Now, what really would solidify a continuation up is a close on the 4 hour above this candle right over here for AMD. And then I'm looking for it to trade all the way up here into all-time highs. Okay. A couple similar, I don't want to say all-time highs very soon. I do want to say 182, or excuse me, 187.24 is definitely a price that I am keeping an eye on. Now, a couple stocks, and I know, all right, see Ali, thank you, brother. Thanks for stopping by. So a couple stocks, and I know a couple Quantum members can kind of vouch for this in here. I called Tesla out way back in July, and actually way down here I had called out. Okay, so here I had called out to watch Tesla for a run. On June 12th, I had called out for Tesla for a run to at least 317 and then eventually all-time highs, and we've already gotten that. Beautiful move here. I need to go find that tweet where I mentioned Tesla's gonna run. And another one recently that I've been, calling out for months, and honestly, it's just been super, super slow because of the volume, is Net. Okay? I have been bullish on Net ever since we've traded into this fair value gap. Similar concept here, right? Look at the fair value gaps here. Monthly fair value gap, we traded into it here. Okay? And then we see that continuation, and it took a long time. But I'm still looking for 117 to be hit up here for Net. All right? I sold Tesla at 300, bought it at 100. That's beautiful, bro. That is beautiful. That's great. Tech Trade is a beast in here, y'all. Tech Trade is a beast. All right, so AMD is cool. Let's take a look at TEM. Right over here. Let's take a look at this. This one's interesting. Is this the one that you're looking at? Tempest AI? Tech Trade? Okay, perfect. Thank you. So let me take a look here. I mean, this one is fairly new, right? A lot of these stocks that are new like this tend to just go ahead and take out lows and make new lows. But the biggest thing to mark here is going to be this area right over here, right? And it does look like we closed below this, right? But really, a lot of the times we can see a reaction at these areas here. This was also interesting price here. This can technically be used as an order block, right? But Tech Trade here said his buy was 22, which is all the way down here, which is amazing. But really what you're looking for is you're looking for this area to hold. There's also what I'm noticing on the weekly chart, and really we can only use the weekly here, is this SIBI down here. There's a tiny imbalance that we can see we've used here. And this move here shows that this area held, right? It opened here, but it didn't close below it. You guys see that? And we can see price continues, right? We trade back down into here, taking that high out, and then right back down below. So Tech Trade, I mean, you don't have anything to worry about. That's a pretty great entry, and obviously this is, some sort of AI. I think this is one to look out in the future. Obviously, I don't know any fundamentals, but just looking at the chart, this one would be great. And definitely look at this area down here. All right, and let me go ahead and take a look at, what's the next one here? My bad, guys. Riot. I have not taken a look at this one in a fat minute. Okay, so for Riot, this one looks interesting. So again, I always start on the monthly to get an understanding of what's going on. So there's a couple things here, right? We had an untested order block, meaning this area right over here. Okay, what does it mean by what do I mean by untested order block? I'm giving you guys a ton of sauce here. Okay, if we take a look at this close, right after this close, right after we got to close above this area here, we didn't get a single wick down into it. You guys see that? No candle wicked into it. So what happens? When price traded up into this area, it traded all the way back down to it, right over here. Okay? Now what do we have here? Another order block here. So, oops, my bad. I am not looking for price to trade any lower for this one. This is actually, wow, this is actually really, tech trade, I gotta give you a round of applause, brother. This is a really, really good setup here. This is beautiful. I'm not gonna lie. I would definitely look to trade this. We have a confirmation here, right? So for one, order block, right? This is a change in structure. If we go look at the date, weekly, excuse me, we don't have a close above this yet, but we have an inversion here, right over here. Okay. If we go back to the monthly, we can see we still don't have a candle wick into here. This is also untested, right? So I'm very curious to see if this will be traded into. This down close candlestick is important. If we look at the weekly here, we have a fair value gap here in which we have been using. This looks like IOFED to me. This looks very strong, right? Honestly, I don't think it will trade down much into here. I would have really liked another retest, but guys, this one is a gem. This one is actually great. Shout out to Tech Trade here. Very, very great low resistance liquidity here. Relative equal highs. Guys, you don't want to use this as a trend. This is not resistance. Obviously, they're wicking here 1, 2, 3, 4. This is liquidity to be wiped out and taken out. Okay, so on the higher time frame for this, for Riot, what am I looking for? What am I looking at exactly here? All this buy side that's been engineered. We've respected a order block, monthly order block. Oh yeah, let's keep in mind some more confluence here. I know I'm going quick. Try and keep up. Fair value gap here that also held, right? So far this looks good. Okay, we do have a couple. There's a BPR here that this is why we're kind of taking our time. Anywhere in this area is a fantastic buy for Riot. Okay. Our targets. What am I looking for? So let's look up here. What is up here, right? What exists? One, fair value gap, SIBI, right up here. This is the higher time frame, by the way. Another order block right over here. This is the last down close candlestick. And notice what we're doing with this wick here. We're stabbing into some sort of liquidity. Okay? Then, weekly, let's go down to here. What am I noticing? I see that monthly SIBI, that's great. But I'm also noticing something a lot more important here. And it's this entire range right over here. Okay, this is a volume balance right up here, and I'm going to mark this to be more accurate and specific. Okay, if we take a look at the volume balance here, this entire one right over here, we traded into it, took that high out, and continued to dump. This is going to be a huge draw on liquidity for me, and also this old one right over here. This is going to be an important one as well. Okay, so you can technically use them as inversions. So all these are targets. I mean, look, at the end of the day, I'm looking for Riot to trade into this area right up here. So I am bullish on Riot from this area on up. I am looking to see the ultimate target here is going to be 23.66 and then eventually 27.32. And of course, from this area that I'm mentioning it is going to be an 83% jump in price and then 110% here, which is very, very possible here for this stock, especially with its history of our injection of volatility here. And I mean, price does look cleaner on this now as well. I love this one. I love it. It's great. Absolutely beautiful. Next one. Thank you for this tech trade. I gotta put you as my stock watcher, bro. I'll take a look at TSM here. Okay, I see. Let me take a look at this one. This one is a pretty wild move up. Taiwan, I've seen this stock before, TSM. This one, I remember people were calling this out way back then. I don't know why exactly it's been popping off like this. Probably some sort of fundamentals, probably some sort of great news that I don't really know about. But I do want to see this here. Okay. All right. So this is an interesting one. Let me check the chat here. That's amazing. Tech trade in here is a beast, absolute beast. Yo, Scotty, what's up, brother? We're just chilling in here, and we're just taking a look at some stocks, brother. We're vibing in here. All right, so this is the last high and last low before this giant run up, and we can see here that the -4 standard deviation has still not hit yet. So I'm looking at this to be hit up there. Another great area that we can kind of use here. There's actually multiple, so I'll go down to the weekly, and we'll take a look at this deviation here as well. I think this is probably a better one to use. Last high and low there, and we can see that your 221 level is up there. The last one I used was this right over here, and we can see that it's very close to each other. However, I think this one is going to be the better deviation to use. I think this one will trade all the way up here. 10. That's insane. That is insane. I know in all the way down. Yeah, this is crazy. If you actually bought it all the way down here, this means you've been holding it for years. But I knew about this, in 2020 area. So yeah, of course. That sounds great, Shalom. And I will actually go ahead and do that. There is a channel that we already use, and it's for the Quantum members only, and it's this one right over here. In our trades, I post a lot of stocks in that, but maybe we will open a channel for the Quantum members for stocks. I think that's a great idea. Wafik, I hope I'm saying your name right. Which U.S. broker to trade stocks do you recommend? So I really recommend. There's a couple that I do recommend. One of them is going to be Charles Schwab's, which I've used Thinkorswim on. That's pretty good. I specifically like that because the platform and their margin requirements are pretty decent. Another one that I would use recently that's been really good is going to be Webull. Webull has been great overall with options for me and with everything else. I think Webull is very, very solid. But those are the two main ones that I have used. And yeah, thank you, Scotty. That one's also a great one that I've heard. IBKR. That is great. Low commission. The commission is what you want to look at. Charles Schwab's does, I believe, have a higher commission, if I'm not mistaken. But if you're holding longer term, it won't really entirely matter. Of course. All right. This is great. Thank you for showing this tech trade. Another one here that tech trade mentioned that we'll take a look at, and then we'll go ahead and take a look at Bitcoin here soon. I don't know who mentioned that or who brought it up. Whoever mentioned Bitcoin, can you please type in the chat just so I remember it? Here, let me see. Sorry guys, I'm kind of struggling here to find. There we go. I'm gonna take a look at Mara Project. Got you. Project Mayhem did in here. I'm gonna take a look at Mara really quickly here. This one I've also been taking a look at. This one is also pretty bullish. Okay. If we take a look at the monthly, there was a fair value gap here. Right over here. So the targets for this one is buy. Honestly, there is highs up here, and then we have a monthly draw on liquidity right over here. And I do want to see Mara touch into this area. I do want to see 41.57. That's the target I want to see. First, I want to see 35.48 and then 41.49. Okay. Mara for this one, there's a monthly fair value gap right over here, but I believe there's something else I drew here, which was, I think it was a 4-hour. Yeah. So great buy on Mara at around 22.08. I think this one is just absolutely beautiful too. Riot, Mara, man, these are great. These are amazing stuff. I'm gonna have to make a list and drop him in the channel. So great stuff here. Yeah, this one much higher. I'm looking at 33. Again, mark these prices, please. 35.48 and 41.49. Those are the biggest ones that I am noting and marking there. Bullish on this one. Very bullish. Great one on this. This has been in a long period of, accumulation here. I do think it's going to make its run here. Actually, this one is freaking beautiful. I think I'm going to load up on this one big time for sure. Really, really good one here overall. Let me see here. SMH could be a nice sympathy play for TSM as well. AI is going to Feel growth in these sectors. Thank you, Alex, for that. Well, I guess I'll go buy my Christmas present for next year. Thank you for that. And we've been looking at SMH, and we've been bullish on this one around this area. And look at that. Wow. Just, guys, this is why I constantly say put on extended trading hours. Okay? Take a look at that. Take a look at this little void here. Look at that ETH. It gets too easy. It's too easy here. Take a look at that. Boom. Up here, and I'm looking for up there as well. Really, really great stuff here. But we've been bullish on this one as well. I think, Alex, you've brought it up as well, so thank you for that. All right, beautiful. These stocks are great. I am going to go ahead and take a look at Bitcoin here. I've been keeping an eye on this thing for quite some time now. Let me put this down here. Alrighty, let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at this right there. Perfect. Okay, so we are aware that we are at all-time highs here. I'm pretty sure everybody is aware of that. So there's a couple deviations that I have used here, and I've used specifically this last high and low before we got this run up. So if we just draw that right over here, okay, and I think I'm on log, so that's fine. We've exceeded that -4 standard deviation, and I do think there's a deviation that I've used here at this high. I don't exactly remember which one I used. I wish I had left it and marked it. I'm assuming I also used... So what I usually do for deviations is I really just grab one that essentially makes sense to me overall, right? I think that deviation was used, though, somewhere around here. I'm trying to figure out where in the world that was. I don't think it was over here. I'm trying to remember why I drew that high there. I don't remember exactly what it was. Definitely was not that. And I don't know if it was this low to this high either. Man, I forgot why I drew that there. But there was a deviation up there. I got to figure that out, and I got to send it. But Bitcoin is interesting here. Mayhem, I know you mentioned this, but if we just put Ethereum and both of these side by side, this is interesting, right? We see relative equal highs here on Ethereum. We did take this high just by a bit, but I'm looking to see if they take this high another time. Now, what's interesting about this, obviously I'm very bullish on Bitcoin, but honestly, what I would really prefer, and I'm sure there could be some potential people in here that could attest to this. I personally would have loved to see a move back down into this area, but Bitcoin is notorious for just continuing, right? If we take a look here, look at the structure, right? It's continuing to push up and up and up, and then it just launches and it continues. This is that same type of structure we're seeing here. Usually on the indices, right, we would see that this here, this liquidity, this is all low resistance. We would see that price would usually take this out, trade into a discounted price, and then continue to push up. I do think because we are at all-time highs, this one will be a little different. I don't really think that, I mean, I could be completely wrong, right? But I don't see this continuing here and just launching off from here just because it is at all-time highs. It is a psychological level. And of course, market makers can trap people here. What I would prefer is more of a move like this, down into here, this area, kind of taking our time, and then continuing to push up higher, right? The biggest thing to watch here, yeah, and we are in a bull run here. The biggest thing to watch here is an imbalance. This imbalance here has held, okay? So this is the biggest, this is your main reason why, and this is important, guys. Please do not sleep on this. This is the biggest reason why Bitcoin has not dropped. This is a fair value gap. This is a SIBI from ICT Concepts, okay? We have closed above it. Now, you guys tell me, look at it for yourselves. Has a single body closed below this SIBI? No. This entire range has a single body closed below it? Absolutely not, okay? That is why it has held. There is no other reason why other than this, okay? This area has been holding. Why this area? This is a bearish PD array, meaning if price would have wanted to continue lower, it would have done so here. But it has not. It closed above it. And now we're using it as quote-unquote support, okay? Another area to note is going to be this down close candlestick, but I assure you, if we lose this and get a close below 94,966, okay, we're going to see a continuation down. And specifically, you would see a continuation down into here. But does that mean it's going to crash? No. This is still bullish. You would look for longs in here. Okay, there's a weekly fair value gap here. You know, there's a lot of stuff going on within this range. There's a huge imbalance. And we've exceeded all-time highs. So what you're looking for, and I would say this would happen at the start of the year. It would be a retracement. If it doesn't happen, then all you're just looking is at higher prices. That's it. It's as simple as that. Okay, and you can use a deviation from this high to low here as well for your most recent move, and we can see. Take a look at that. So I think this is the line I had drawn before. If you take a look at this, we've tapped that -4 standard deviation, and we're taking our time to kind of push and exceed that. So can it stop here? Most definitely it can halt, right? It could stop here. And I mean, we did try using this deviation here as well, right? And we can see that we've already well exceeded that level. Okay, what a deviation is, all you're doing is you're just projecting the level you're trying to see if price can continue and push. Wafik here said BPR is the strongest PDRA. Yes, it definitely is. It is, and thank you for bringing that up. This is why over here in this area we have held here, okay, and we can see a continuation. And Mayhem said January is victorious for the second phase of the run, and I can totally see that because we have had that in the past. If we take a look here, we've had that right over here, and this is similar, right? We've had this run, and then price engineer sell side liquidity, but then it's still run. So definitely this right here with what we're seeing over here, we can definitely see this happen in this section over here where we see that larger move, right? So ideally, I mean, if I was really just taking a run here and I was replicating this entire run here, right, from that to that, and if we were to replicate it up here, this technically, if we were looking at fractal patterns, this is what would happen. Obviously, you know, this is a little outrageous, but these are standard deviation and measured moves, right? If I take a move from here to here, for example, this one would probably be a bit more reasonable, right? We would see something like this. 126, right? Or 126,000 level. And this, you know, I'm bullish overall on crypto. I'm bullish overall on crypto. Like it really doesn't matter, like, you know, the order flow is bullish. At the end of the day, we are still analyzing and we're understanding why it's doing that, right? I don't like this sell side structure here. However, Bitcoin has still proved that it will ignore this and it will continue to run up. Now, in the case that it does, you shouldn't panic because the area that you're looking at is going to be these areas down here. Fair value gap here. Fair value gap here. Potential OTE retracement. It'll take its time and then continue, right? At the end of the day. And you're going to be looking at higher prices from there, right? And ideally, off this measured move, y'all, off this measured move, we did touch that -1. So ideally, Bitcoin is definitely going to 123K if we have a retracement and then a continuation, and eventually 172K. This retracement here and this close above these all-time highs is crucial. So yeah, just saying that, just putting that out there for Bitcoin. Weekly open, close around 90K. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. If you just take a look at the weekly here, this is around, I think this is what you're talking about. This is that open here, close here. And then obviously, this is interesting though. This fair value gap here is interesting. I'm taking a look at that. Black line. Okay, got you. I see what you're talking about. Yep. So, yeah, bullish on this overall. I'm just gonna say that if it, you know, right above the BISI right over here. I just want to say, like, you know, if we're dropping down, I'm just letting you guys know, like, you know, don't panic on this. Just keep an eye out on these levels up there, right? All right, y'all, beautiful stuff here. I do have to bounce out of here. I think we had a great recap here. I really wanted to go over this with everybody. I think it was a great time to go over all these things, but definitely bullish on crypto still. Really great stuff here, and of course, shout out Tech Trade for those. I'm gonna put these on my watch list. I'll put this in the quant chat for you guys. For those of you who are Quantum members, I'll go ahead and put these in the chat, just so we can take a look at them. It was SMH, Riot, Mara, and then what else did we take a look at that was really, really good, that I really liked? Let me take a look here. TEM was pretty good too. So I think all of these are great. TSM as well. TSM and HTZ. I know I didn't look at HTZ. I can take a quick look over here, but I do have to bounce out of here. Oh yeah, this one's pretty solid too. Let me take a look at this. Oh yeah, longer term this one is solid. Longer term this one definitely is solid. What I don't like though here is just these lows down here. I don't know if they'll take them, but honestly, this is all with risk to reward ratio here. So like your volume balance, like ideally if you were to trade this here, or this gap, let me check the 18-hour, right? So this area down here, potentially down here, your ideal like quick trade would be something like this. Stop loss at this low. Your target is going to be here. And if you want to hold till all-time highs, you can hold till all-time highs, which is all the way up here and here. It's going to give 200. You think it's going to give 200? Are you using deviations? Hey, you have some nice entries, though. That's beautiful, man. I can definitely see... This is definitely going to all-time highs, though, once it gets the run up. I mean, take a look at this, y'all. All this buy side. This thing is one that will run for sure. For sure, this will run once you get a confirmation up. This is one that's been engineering liquidity for years. Take a look at 2021, right? Liquidity engineered. Just needs a catalyst there. All right, y'all. Thank you for everything. This will be posted for everybody. Okay, this will be posted. Of course, Wafik. Of course. Appreciate you all on here. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Thank you guys all for stopping by. Of course, the quantum recap will be reposted, and I will be posting the crypto recap as well for everybody. Okay, thank you for it. Appreciate you. You guys have a great weekend. I will catch you guys for the weekly outlook. Thank you.